Okay, fans, we're here with Jason Trost, and you probably recognize this guy from the 2011 classic, the FP. Now, you have to talk to me a little bit about this. That is an amazing film where you use Dance Dance Revolution as a weapon in the future. Tell me a little bit about that before we start talking about your new game.
Oh gosh, well, I was in high school and I was playing Dance Dance Revolution at the time, and I just thought, why has no one made a video game about this? And I was also playing like Def Jam and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I was like, what if we just kind of slap those two together? And being like, 16 or whatever when I came up with that idea, it all made sense at the time. Now looking back, you're just like, what is that? But yeah, we did that, did 4 of those, and here I am.
No, that is awesome. If you've never seen it, check that out. And the one that I think has the most unique look to it, not that doesn't, is the one that just came out, I think, last year, The Waves of Madness.
Yeah.
That one is really cool. Explain to us a little bit about that film, too.
That one, it's a black and white, like 1930s Universal Monster era movie kind of thing, but it's all shot as like a side-scrolling video game. Mm-hmm. So the whole movie is just a continuous, a fake continuous one-shot side-scrolling from left to right of the happenings on this ship with, people trying to take down monsters. And yeah, it was just, that was a brainchild I had for a long time. Obviously, I've always been inspired by video games, with my movies being very video game-centric. So now with this new one, I was like, well, why don't we just try to just jump in and finally do something interactive and join the video game world.
Awesome. Yes, the Waves of Madness definitely does. I mean, you're watching a side-scrolling video game while you're watching that. It is a very cool, I would say, almost like experience to watch, more than just a film. Awesome. But I love the old monster movie type of thing that kind of goes to it, have a little bit of that going on as well. So you've also done Slayer music videos too, directing that?
Well, I didn't direct those, but I starred in those. My
friend,
BJ directed those, and that's why I was in those, which was fun. But yeah, no, I've been in lots of different music videos and random movies, and I'm, hey, there's that guy. I'm that quite a bit, so
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
I like that. It's way more fun.
Now, what made you go? You've done plenty of movies, acted in a bunch, wrote a bunch, directed a bunch. What made you jump into the video games? Because you have one coming out this month. Afar, the interactive horror film.
Right. Well, it's something I always wanted to do, but I just didn't really know how I would do it or if people wanted it or this, that, or the other thing. And I think it's probably because now that I'm starting to, maybe I'm coming upon a midlife crisis. I don't know, but I'm starting to make a checklist of what haven't I done yet that I've always wanted to do. And next up on the list was an interactive horror movie, because I grew up on survival horror video games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil and like 90s FMV games. And I always loved all that. And I was always just kind of shocked that no one really does just the interactive horror movie. And I know we have FMV games still being made and things, but I always wanted something that kind of bridges the gap for people who don't really know anything about video games, but they want to just have a little bit of interaction. I miss the communal element of watching movies.
Okay.
And I always love when there's the dark horror anthology pictures, like the old Telltale games, like all those sort of things. I love getting together and playing those with friends where it's what are we going to do next? Go left, go right, all that kind of stuff. And I love things with replay value. And as a creator, it's really fun to not have to just write the same 3-act structure script over and over and over again. You can be a lot more playful with this. If you had an idea for 4 different endings, you can just do them all. Mm-hmm. And it's up to you to decide if you get to that ending. You write the movie as you play it. And I always thought that was a fun concept.
Now, was there anything different? You've written a lot of movie scripts yourself. Was there anything that was more challenging or easier maybe from going from the kind of choose your own adventure to writing a standard linear script?
Well, a standard linear script is, I'm not going to say it's easy because, writing's always hard, but you kind of get, there's an autopilot to a degree where, this happens, that happens, that happens. When doing this, I essentially just wrote a choose your own adventure script. So it's just and trying to make that make sense and continuity of things where you're well, if I make this choice here, that'll affect something later. So I need to re-affect that. So yeah, it was a much more interesting way to think about it, but it was definitely more challenging in that way with continuity and things like that. But it was just more exciting work to a degree because you can just be endlessly creative. There's no wrong answer. The only answer is I just don't have time to do that. But because I did virtually this entire thing by myself. So it was, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Was it hard work? Yes, but I think it was really worth it.
Awesome. One of the things that in your films and in this is it definitely has a unique look to it. Like you're spending a lot of time creating these worlds that we're in. Like they have a unique feel to it. Where'd you learn your special effects from? What was your background in that?
Well, I mean, my dad has always been a special effects coordinator, like practical special effects back in the day when I was a kid. So I, grew up on sets in the effects truck, just kind of learning the practical effects side. But I never really tried VFX much. I wasn't really into it until, I guess, the pandemic hit, and then I was forced into it with FP3 and 4 quite drastically. So then I just started learning things and just like self-teaching myself things and just learning how to actually integrate the miniatures and do things like that and put stuff in the background. And it's also now every week it seems like there's a whole new tool that just makes it easier and easier and easier for you to do wild things in post. So I'm just constantly learning and experimenting, and every time I just have a new box of tricks and I try them out and see what works, see what doesn't, upgrade those for the next one, and so on.
That's awesome. That's one of the things that I'd say, at least the things I've seen you've done, a lot of satirical stuff, a lot of comedy in the things that you're writing. With Afar, can we expect more of a just straight on horror game, or are we do we have the comedy elements in that, or?
I mean, I think it's more straight on serious. I think it's closer to tone to sort of a Waves of Madness sort of feel.
Okay.
There's some fun in there here and there, but it's definitely spooky. I like spooky horror movies. I'm not all about like the jump scare, like, I'm not trying to give you a heart attack. I like spookies and vibes and world building, and I'm more of like, John Carpenter style, like The Thing or The Fog or those sort of like early Silent Hill video games. I'm a big atmosphere junkie. I love haunted houses. I love haunted worlds. I love lore. So there's a lot of that in there.
Awesome. That's since you brought up some movies, what's favorite all-time film? And it doesn't have to be the best movie you've ever seen, but your personal favorite.
Personal favorite, I love so many movies, and this question is always really hard, but I just go with the autopilot answer, which for me was Terminator 2, because it pretty much got me into loving movies in a way I didn't even realize. My dad took me to see it when I was like 4 years old in the movie theater, which, question the parenting there, but I loved it so much I had to be like torn out of the theater because I was crying because Arnold died, and I was like, no, the robot can't die. And then to that point on, I was just like, I just love movies. And then I didn't really realize why that movie was so good until I got older and I could appreciate things, but that one always just stuck such a chord with me.
Yeah, Robert Patrick, great bad guy too. Says like 5 words in the whole damn movie, and he's awesome. Awesome.
Do you need any more? I don't think so.
No, I love that role. Well, okay, so you're an action movie guy. Are you going Arnold? You going Jason Statham? You going Jean-Claude Van Damme? What's the perfect one out there?
Oh, what? Like, who's the perfect action hero?
Yes, perfect action hero.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's so hard because, they're all so good for so many different reasons.
Yep.
But I think the ones that I identify the most to, there's the ones I admire, and I'm like, they're like, the ones in the poster. And then the ones I admire where I feel more in common with them, I would say, is probably the Kurt Russell and Harrison Ford types.
Okay.
Because I like that they have the humility where, they can still get beat up and keep going forward. It's like they use the environment and basically sheer luck and perseverance, and there's humility there. They get beat up, they don't know what's going on, they're not perfect, but they keep getting there anywhere, and they're just you're just going through that ride with them. And I think it's very relatable for me in that respect, because the idea of trying to be perfect and awesome and be this giant guy who does everything right, that's not me, but I like to watch it.
I love it. That's awesome. I was a big fan. We're similar in age here. Jean-Claude Van Damme. It was just.
Oh yeah.
So amazing.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is so good. He's such a guilty pleasure is the wrong word because he's awesome. But whenever something's on for him, I'm just it just brings a smile to my face.
It does. It just worked there. He was just in the 90s. Everything just kind of snapped into place.
In the pandemic, actually, I went into the barber. They had shut down. Nobody could get their haircut for 6 months. It was the whole thing locked down. And I just went into the barber with a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme from Time Cop, and I was like, that, please.
That is awesome. The Time Cop. Give me the Time Cop.
Give me the Time Cop. And they were like, what? And I was like, oh, okay. It's going to be a long haircut.
Favorite all-time video game? You said you played some FMV games. You did a lot of Resident Evil, that type of stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I think my favorite video game, this is really hard, but I guess I just have to go off of what have I played the most? Actually just played over and over and over again. It has to be the original Resident Evil for me.
Yeah.
I generally play that game once a year. And now I'm on the rotation where I go through the different iterations of it. Like, I'll play the original one, I'll play the director's cut, I'll play the weird DS one. I just played like the touch screen stuff and all of that. And there's the GameCube one. There's like the kind of like the upscale ones of those and the new systems. And yeah, so I guess like I'm on like the 5-year rotation where every Halloween I just go back and do that one again a different way. And
it's always fun. Resident Evil is one of those ones that really kind of got me into the world of horror video gaming and kind of started like a 30-year. Just every video game for the last 30 years has been trying to kind of recreate that. So it's a classic, and it's still, and you're constantly playing it. It still works. Like it everything about it is just absolutely amazing.
I think for me, like why there's been a slew of horror video games since, but like that was definitely the one that gave me the bite. Where I was like, oh my god, this is like my life now. But it's such a good game as far as like a lot of other like survival horror games, they can be too long, they can be convoluted, they can be this, they can be that. Resident Evil is such a good Metroidvania game at the same time. We're just kind of like, oh, you need this key and you can't go over there until you get that key or that crest. And it's a very rewarding, fun gameplay loop, as well as just being super cinematic and like the ultimate cheesy 90s action horror movie.
Yeah. It absolutely is. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was, okay, the Waves of Madness, the Afar here, you're in front of a green screen a lot. How hard is that when you're like, okay, there's going to be an explosion here, but it's really just a cardboard box that I have there set up, and like, how hard is that to do?
I find it really easy, but that's just because for me, I think there's the production side of my mind for so long, because I've been writing and directing things and like small and working on low budget things forever. I'm just like, oh man, temperature's nice, sounds fine. There's a clean bathroom over there. There's a fridge with food in it over there. This is great. So you're just kind of like, oh, I can actually just focus on acting, not how miserable I am at the moment. Like, because you're out on top of some mountain, or you're in like, it's 3 a.m. and you're in some like rainy alley. There's so many. It always looks cool. We're just like, God. And I think it takes it back to more like acting in a play. And where like you're actually just acting, like they've been doing it with essentially just a green screen, the entire time, and it works. If you have actors and everyone that has charisma, and you just working with your friends, like I think it can be a lot of fun. But yeah, if there's somebody who doesn't get it and you're trying to like get them into it, that's the tricky part. I think it's harder to actually directing people sometimes on green screen than acting for me.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Yeah, that sounds like a massive challenge there. So
there's something back here, I promise.
Yes, it's going to look really cool and awesome, and this explosion, it's going to be really awesome.
And that's why on Waves of Madness, I actually made all the backgrounds for the movie first, and then we started shooting it.
Oh, okay.
Actors would have questions like that. I was like, this is where we are. Look at that. That's the set we're in right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There and so that really helped.
That makes a lot of sense. And again, it's easier for you. You're like, I designed all this. I know exactly what it looks like. Yes.
But you have to realize that no one else is in your head but you, and you're like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't know what this looks like. I'm just telling you. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. The one of the last things here. Let me just take a look at my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. For this one, for Afar, you are writer, director, actor. When I was watching the trailer for it, it's pretty much just you in this. There's like, it looks like some other small bits in this, but we're relying on you to tell this whole story.
Yeah, it's mainly me. Like any good survival horror game, it's generally like, 90% one person, which is the way I like it. But I find lots of lore pieces and other things. So it feels more lived in than just me, I would say, when you play through it.
Okay.
And it was a great experience going and doing it, because I would just take the train like 2 hours out of Sydney, and I came to this place, the Blue Mountains, which is awesome, like Grand Canyon of Australia, kind of like rainforest. And there's a tram that they claim is the steepest tram in the world. You get there, and I got a season pass, and you take that down to the valley floor.
Oh, wow.
I just load up my backpack with whichever props or whatever I needed for that day, for whatever I was shooting, and I would just go hike around until I got tired or ran out of water and come home. And
so this is really a self-made project for the most part. This is just you. You've done the effects, you did the writing, you're doing the acting, and you're doing the shooting for it too. So that's pretty crazy.
Like, and I just have this little, not the GoPro, but it's the DJI like Osmo like Action 5 Pro thing. It's like this big, I chose that one because it's magnetic underneath. So a lot of times if I need a tripod, I can just put something up to get those crazy Silent Hill angles. Then I also have a tripod that like starts this size and then goes up tall and goes up so I can just grab it, run away if I'm stealing a shot.
Yeah.
Or if it's just it was epic. I loved it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there now? It's going to be on Steam, and I think I saw also on DVD as well.
And there is a Choose Your Own Adventure book on Amazon.
Oh, wow!
Of it.
Nice. So you can get all three of these then. Cool.
So no matter what you're doing, if you don't know how to play games, but you know how to read books, you can still play it.
That's awesome. I love the physical media part of it too, because that is something that kind of gets lost here. My daughter just bought a Switch not too long ago, the new Switch, and a lot of the games that they have there are totally going away from that. Makes me angry because sometimes you just want to feel that in your hands, you know?
Yeah, no, I know. I bought Cyberpunk again on the new Switch because I just want to have that on a cartridge.
Yeah, that's how it works.
When I feel like playing it, I don't want to take 150 gigs up on my cartridge or on my hard drive. So it's like, okay, boop.
Yep.
Great. I can be impulsive.
Now, do you think that you're going to have any console releases for this, or are you going to stick with the DVD and Steam, or see where it goes?
Right now, we're sticking with DVD and Steam because, obviously it's releasing my first video game. I don't really know how this works. And again, doing that mostly ourselves. So trying to figure that out, see where that goes. Maybe we can get to other consoles down the line, but that's going to take some research, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, for now, Steam.
Okay, now is this a test case? Is this more of a like, hey, if this works, if people like it, I want to do more of this? Or was this just like, I just got to scratch this itch of making a video game?
Well, it's both. It's both. And we didn't even really know it could be a Steam game. I always wanted it to be until about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And then I was talking with a game developer buddy, and I was like, is there any way I could do this on Steam? And he was like, look, get Charles' engine, FMV, for Unity. Plug that in. It's pretty easy, and you can just do it. And then my friend of mine who developed the Steam game portion of it, and we were going back and forth because I developed the DVD, and I gave that to him to essentially port the Steam copy. That all started about 5 weeks ago, and the game comes out next week, so that's insane.
Nothing like working under the gun, huh?
Yeah, but just to preach to that program, that plugin, it's like it was pretty simple as far as that went. So that was really nice. That was a very pleasant surprise.
Awesome.
If it does work, I have had such a good time with not just making this, but kind of like releasing it and developing it. And I'm finding the video game world to be a lot friendlier than what I'm used to with the movie world.
Okay.
So I would love to continue down this road more if this worked out.
Awesome. Now, is there anything, you've been very generous with your time. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Afar before we leave here?
I've heard it's really fun, and it's like nothing you've played before. I don't know if that's true, but people seem to enjoy it. Please wishlist it. Apparently that's a really big deal for developers on Steam. Wishlist it, or it'll be $9.99 on Steam, so
awesome.
It's not going to break the bank. I wanted it to be replayable because one of my issues that I have with these new cinematic games is they'll be way too long, and then they'll be like, play it again to get the other 4 endings. I'm like, I'm not playing 10 hours again.
I agree.
So this one, it's about 30 to 40 minutes of playthrough. There's 5 different endings, and you have to play it at least 3 times to get all of the different lore pieces and directions and locations, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good. Well, thank you very much for your time, Jason. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate it, and I wish you a lot of luck with the game.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for doing this.
All right, thanks. Take it easy, Jason. Have a good trip.
Yeah.